back at it here. A little 9:35, feeling alive. 9:35. Kay Boning in the house. Kay, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I feel like I've never had you on anything before, Kay. It's first time guest. Just kidding.
I want the horn. This is the first time for Rays of Hope, though, so.
Yeah, that's right. Last year y'all were gone.
Yes.
Yeah, well, welcome. Y'all were scheduled to not be here today, I think, because y'all had a family reunion, I thought.
Well, I kept thinking it was the 8th. And, yes, we do have a family reunion the 8th, but tomorrow we have grandchildren graduating from high school, and I cannot figure out how to be in Huntsville on Friday night and be in Amarillo, which is 9 hours away, on Saturday morning. And I'm not going to drive all night, and I'm not going to take a red eye. So.
And y'all been working on this new human teleportation device, but it's not ready yet.
Yeah. I'm waiting for those days. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, it's so good to have you. I just absolutely love our Wednesdays together. I love every morning that we get to have the show, especially Wednesdays with you and Rick. Y'all always bring so much energy and excitement, and I love talking about Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools. You guys are a 501c3 nonprofit, and some of the funds that we raised today, we're going to put back into the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Had Josie on, by the way.
Yeah,
she's celebrating.
She's wonderful.
6 months she's celebrating now.
Yeah.
So here's the deal: if you can make it with Kay for 6 months, you can make it for 6 years. If you can make it for 6 years, you can make it for 16 years. If you make it 16 years, you're set in stone, right, Kay?
Yeah. There's usually a breaking point at 6 months. Oh, I'm serious.
It's the honeymoon period of any job.
I don't know if it's for any job or not, but after 6 months, they kind of get tired of either the poop, the pee, the parents.
It's the 3 Ps, right?
Or the pay.
Okay.
So it's the 4 Ps.
4 Ps of childcare, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, we're here today. Again, Raise of Hope. We're going to be out here until 7 o'clock tonight. We've had a few more folks come by. We know a lot of folks are working today. Big thank you to Zach Berry and our friends at HEB for allowing us to be here. He said we can't do it on the weekends anymore because they're just so busy. This parking lot is so full on the weekends now. And he said if y'all can do it midweek, you can. So Jason and I got together, and we kind of felt that this Thursday is the best day to do it. And we wanted to do it earlier in the summer instead of at the end of summer. That way folks that maybe haven't left yet have time to come by. And we wanted to have an opportunity for folks to be able to enjoy the summer and hopefully some of the benefits from this drive. We've had a lot of diapers come in. We've been calling for that, some toiletry items. But come out and bring those canned food items, anything you can put in the not in the fridge, but anything that you can put. Don't bring stuff you can put in the fridge. Anything that you can put in the pantry and leave it for a while. That's what we're looking for. Also toiletries, toothpaste. You think about things that you use every day. Some of these items are going to go to Safe House to help these women that are going through tough situations.
And I am a former Safe House client.
Can you just let us know a little bit, about why it's. You guys are one of the beneficiaries today for the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Those funds going to help pay for the cost of books. But, from your perspective, you have been so involved in the community, Kay. Why is it so important for folks to give back in events, not just like this, but any event that's given back to the community?
There's always somebody less fortunate than ourselves. If you look at the widow that gave her the widow's mite, she gave out of her heart to help somebody that was less fortunate than her, and she was poor herself. So you get a blessing from giving, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, is whether you're recognized or not, which I prefer not to be recognized, but when you give something, your time, your talents, or your money, you get a blessing back. And I think that's missing in a lot of today's society, is just me, 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 me. And, this is an opportunity to give back, even if it's $1.
Even if it's a can of beans, let's be honest.
Yeah,
it helps.
You get something, you get a blessing yourself. And that's what's important.
Last year, one of the most memorable moments of this event, Kay, was there was a family that came through on a trailer and a truck. Is an older truck, and you could tell that the family, just good, hard-working people, but you could tell that they literally gave. It felt like they gave everything that they had. They showed. It brought tears to me. I took a picture with them, and it was funny because after I took the picture, the guy was saying, "I'm sorry, I was smoking a cigarette," and he held it behind it. I said, "Brother, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is you have such a pure heart, and you heard about this, and you wanted." He drove through the parking lot and saw the sign, and he told his wife, "We got to go home and help." And they went through And he told me the truth. He said, we had a lot of canned goods in our pantry that were still good. We don't want you to bring stuff that's expired. But they had a lot of stuff in their pantry that they said, we're probably never going to eat this. And it was, he goes, but this was some of the last of, and I made sure, I said, well, do you have something to eat? He goes, yeah, we have stuff to eat. But he came through and they gave so much, Kay. And you could just tell at that moment, that was all that they had and they gave it. And we were able to bless that to Good Shepherd Mission and over at Safe House to help stock some of their food pantry over there. And that's what these events, that's what really tugs at your heart. Seeing folks come out and saying, you know what, I want to give. And it doesn't matter, like you said, if it's $1 or $1,000, all this goes a really long way. And it goes to help benefit our community and to benefit these organizations. The cash part of it, part of that will go to you guys to continue to give these books out for free. You got to pay a lot of money to ship them. I mean, you add it up, one person, it's not a whole lot, but you add up 1,000 kids a month, that turns into a lot, 1,000 children a month.
I mean, it only costs $25 per child for them to get a book a month for a whole year. And if you take the span from birth to 5 years old, it's $125 to support that child for 5 years and give them 60 books. That is not a lot of money. But when you times over 1,000 children that we serve every month, then that's why that dollar donation means so much to us. That's why we're doing the fundraiser coming up, Lasso Your Imagination, and the Rev Up Your Imagination car show, and the Jump Into Your Imagination bounce houses and stuff, in September. That's why we have to do those fundraisers, is to pay for that service that we're doing.
I love that. And Josie said she set up the website, unleashyourimaginations.org. She has set that up now. And I love this year's event because it's not just the Lasso Your Imagination. It's coming up in September at the Walker County Fairgrounds, but also the Rev Up Your Imagination. And what was the other one?
Jump Into Your Imagination.
Jump Into Your Imagination. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be an all-day event, not just an evening thing.
Yes.
And now children can be involved. Car enthusiasts can come out, even if you're not and you just like to see old cars. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we're going to have vendors and some food trucks and stuff. So it's going to be a all-day event that's going to have a variety of things for anybody to go do.
Okay, over 25 years with Tomorrow's Promise now. God literally put this vision in your heart. And when you're called to do what you're called to do, you can't fail. The enemy's going to come at you, but God's going to protect you, and he has, and You've been through your trials. Everybody's been through trials in any organization.
I'm in one right now.
we're in it, but in faith we can overcome those things. It's not because of us; it's because of Him. And I say 25 plus years. The journey for you. Did you ever imagine that it would be where it's at now, with 3 locations and serving hundreds of children and just giving back at the level of impact that you have? If you look past these 25 years.
When I was 14 years old, I told my dad I was never, ever, ever having children. And I got a biological child for every ever I told my daddy. And then just for funsies, got through it in the school. So, I mean, people that knew me back then would go, she's doing what? And so the whole transformation, and if you had said something before COVID about me having more than one location, I would have laughed at you. And in fact, prior to getting the pink house, I was laughing about getting the pink house and using it for the school. I was telling God, no, you're crazy. And, and
now my Braylon's over there. And
now we have the pink house, and we have the second location, and we have the third location. And I finally gave up and just said, okay, whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm done arguing.
Love it. Well, Charlotte's doing, all your staff does such an amazing job. Wanted to highlight Charlotte particularly because during all these power outages, you guys were affected, but you opened up the academy, and Charlotte over there just has that running like clockwork, as your employees do across the board. But just loved going over there and seeing that facility, and that's open now at Veterans Memorial. Maybe talk a little bit about that, and just there's plenty of room to grow over there too.
It's growing. It's doing really, really well. We've got, I believe, about 46 students and 2 or 3 starting in the next few days. And we didn't want to open full because, it takes time to train a teacher and things like that. So we took some of our staff from over at the main location, Charlotte, and Misha, and Sophia, Avery. They left the main location, went over there, so we had experienced people going over there. And then we've added a teacher here and there, And then, we had to hire new people for the old location and train them. So it's a growth process, but it's taken off over there, and we're looking forward to hopefully getting phase 2 started with the construction over there
Here's
sometime soon.
a question you're going to laugh, because I was going to say when you go to sleep, but I was about to say, do you ever sleep? But when you go to sleep, some people count sheep. Are you counting children? I just imagine all these children jumping over playgrounds, and you're one child, two child. What's the night winding down for you like, Kay? And I mean, seriously, what is it like? Because you're doing a lot. You're responsible for all these children. You do such a great job in your organization. But for you, what does that wind down process at night look like?
Depending on the evening, a lot of times I might still be working at 8 o'clock. I start 6 o'clock in the morning. So depending on what I'm working on, I may be still working at 8 o'clock. Then Rick and I have some time together, and we might watch Me TV or something like that. And I try to do Facebook and try to keep caught up on what's going on Facebook, and I'll read the news. And sometimes I fall asleep looking at my phone.
Do you ever drop the phone on you? That's happened to me.
No, Rick does. Rick's the one that drops the phone. I'm usually the one that just goes like this, and I still have it in my hands, and he'll like, turn the light out.
Oh, that's great.
And so I don't ever have a problem going to sleep. I mean, I just kind of like drop off and go to sleep. But I do wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning usually and have to go to the restroom, and then the brain wakes up. And so sometimes I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning for a couple hours before I'll go back to sleep. So.
Well, that's great. As you guys are my neighbors a couple houses across, the fact that you just told me you wake up at 2 a.m., that's when the dogs wake me up to let them out. So I may just ask you just to come across the street and let them out for me so I can keep sleeping, Kay, all right?
I don't get up except to walk to 15, 20 feet to the bathroom and come back, because I have my own dog that has decided, she's 16 years old, and she's decided to, periodically cry in the middle of the night.
No.
I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, Kay, we love you. We appreciate. I love being in this community too, because you can tell people you love them, and people don't get weirded out by that. We love you and Rick and your staff and your organization, and just love how it's all faith-based. And I don't say that negatively towards an organization that's not. But it really is. Hey, Jamie's here from Osprey Storage. Good to see you. Miss Jamie South. She does so much in this community. You talk about someone who came in here and got busy and just immediately started. She started that Huntsville, Texas blessing box with a twist group. And, boy, she has helped out so many folks that have had a need for groceries and paying bills. Just did it from the kindness of her heart. Not to promote the business, although the business is, part of what she does with the storage. But that's what Huntsville's about. That's what I was getting at. You can hug people, you can love them, and people aren't going to look at you weird.
Well, and the books that get sent out all have Jesus Loves You on them. So we're spreading that love too. Awesome.
Well, come on out today. Part of the cash donations today, we're trying to help out 5 area nonprofits, including Care Center Huntsville, HISD Social Services, Safe House, Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, and a Good Shepherd Mission. Also, really want to help out these 3 families that have been affected by the recent flooding, including the Peak family. The little girl now is almost 4 months old. They also have 2 boys, 8 and 10 years old. Their entire home destroyed. They're going to have to just tear down the house and redo stuff. And I know there is a disaster declaration, but let's be honest, it takes a while. People need help now, and that's what we're doing here at Rays of Hope. We're going to be able to help a lot of these folks get back on their feet a little bit quicker. And we do appreciate the federal assistance. That's much needed. But helping the Peak family, Nate is all about homesteading, so Home Depot gift cards will go a long way for that family. So if you can do anything like that, or cash gift cards, or even cash, a portion of that will go back. And also just think about baby clothes. And I would say for a girl that is 12 months or younger, that would be some great opportunities for clothing. And then also cash donations. And if you come out here to the HEB parking lot, cash donation is going to get you in our hourly raffle. We had a lot of people come by here at this 9 a.m. hour, so it's not like a 50% chance of winning. Maybe a 10% chance of winning here in this hour.
It's not even that. We've got lots.
Okay. Well, Jason's over here smiling big, so appreciate Jason, all the work that he's doing. Kay, thank you so much. Anything else before we let you go?
I want to say, let's as a community come out and support Rob, because he lost his father, and
thank you.
His dad wanted him to do this, and not not take the day off and go be with his family. So come and make a donation in honor of his dad.
I appreciate that. That means a lot, Kay. So, well, Huntsville, we love you, and we love this community. Come on out and be a part of this today. And can I get a hug on air from the hug of Huntsville?
You know, I don't. It's kind of ironic. I meant might be the right word, but you know, my daddy was in the hospital and had a procedure going on right before he passed when the academy opened.
Wow.
And so, you know, I had that choice of. I mean, I was there at that time, and I did not come back, you know, for that opening. So,
yeah.
I understand your torn and stuff like that, and I'm glad that you're continuing to do this in honor of him.
Yeah, he would have wanted me to. He was actually even talking about it. He goes, I think that's great. My dad always taught me growing up. Really, the biggest thing is he told me, he says, honor God first. Put God first in your life. And he said, don't just put him first, but ask for forgiveness and ask him into your heart and have a relationship with him. And that's the key, because that's salvation.
Yeah.
Just saying, Lord, help me. You got to go through the whole shebang, and the whole shebang is saying, Lord, come into my life. I need you as my Savior. Forgive me of my sins. I'm a sinner. I know and I believe that you died on the cross and shed your blood for me, and I accept you, and I want to live my life for you, and I invite you into my life, and I want to live a life that serves you. And I believe you said that prayer, you're saved, and it's not going to get easier. It's going to get tougher, in fact. I tell people that. It's going to get tougher. People are going to come against you, but that's why it's so important that you connect. Some people say, well, I don't need to go to church, and I get that. But I do think it's so important that you connect with the local body of believers, whether that's a group of friends that are believers or get involved in the local church. I think it's so important. Huntsville, we got 40 or 50 options, so go find your pick, and all of them are great.
It's hard to do anything by yourself.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you know, and it's hard to walk the walk and be faithful by yourself.
First thing, when I got that phone call, from Mom on Monday. Is it Monday? No, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. When I got that call on Tuesday from Mom, I knew what it was. And it's so important, too, to have one or two people in your most inner circle. You need that. We all need that. And I immediately sent a message. Called, didn't answer because he's in the middle of ministry trainings. My buddy Joshua Harris. He don't mind me mentioning his name. I've got two people in that circle. It really is one, is Josh. I sent him a message right away. And he didn't answer. And then you know what the next thought was? I need to get up to church. I need to go talk to Pastor Bay. And I went in, and he knew. As soon as I walked in, he knew something was going on. He gave me a hug. And that's why it's so important to have those people in your life.
Yeah.
And you know what? You go to Tomorrow's Promise, your young ones are going to get a lot of hugs. They're going to feel loved and appreciated. They're going to learn. They're going to come back screaming, Daddy, Daddy, I want to build a garden. And then you build a garden for them. So that's what's going to happen. So please support our friends at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. They are there to help your young children out as they start their lives. And my little girl is so smart. My little boy, the best picture I got of my daddy is feeding my boy. He finally got to see my boy. And my boy was all smiles. And he's active. And he's active. Why? Because I got him at Tomorrow's Promise. He's not in front of screens. You put a child, I'm not going to get into it, put a child in front of a screen, they turn into a zombie.
Yeah.
My children, very, very, very little. I'm not going to say they don't ever, but very, very, very little screen time. Best gift that we've gotten for him, and it's our friends over at Adler Family Toys got her some blocks, and then we got those Magna tiles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love those things.
Oh, and Braylon goes nuts with those things. I do too. I'm like, this is a thing that Daddy can play. So, well, Kay, thank you so much. Thank you for your love.
Do you share with her?
I do. Yeah, I do. So, I do. Well, thank you for your love for this community. Tomorrow's Promise. More information online at tomorrowspromise.info. We're out here until 7 o'clock. We'll have more guests joining us at the 10 a.m. hour, and so make sure you stay locked in here on our social media feed. Do us a favor and share this event, and please come out. And by the way, from 11 to 1, Sam Houston Women's Basketball going to be here helping us out, and we have some free hot dogs.
And it's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. 93, and it's the place to be. That'll wrap it up. Kay, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.